Anyway, so the way we're trying to work on everything is pick something and finish it, and then move on to something else. So better to be really good at two of these things than okay at all of it. And we're targeting different parts of your skill set when we're in each one of these songs, which is what's cool about it. Starting with Nothing Else Matters. When we're picking single strings, let me just get the curtains here. My Mac has just started to die, so I'm used to using this computer only. I have this nice new one. Cool. So we're going. We're going to be using a pick, which we talked about. We're holding this way with these two fingers, and if you find yourself using your second finger too, it's okay. So, as opposed to I'm in front like this, we're kind of slinging our arm around the guitar like we talked about. So think of these as little strums. If you find yourself tempted to like do this or something, don't. Just make like a relaxed fist, and we're going down, 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 up, up, up. The first whole bunch of times that you do this, don't even worry about rhythm. Just do it like it's a list of things you're doing. That's our memorization stage versus playing stage. With something like this, it can be really tempting to just like bang it out in rhythm the first time. But if you do it 5 times going over it, then that'll be easier. Though this is a pretty extreme example, you'll probably just be able to do that. But like I said earlier, it's always our goal for have you breaking this stuff into little teeny sections that you can actually consciously be thinking about and finish as you go one little bit at a time. So if the thing's 4 riffs long, you haven't even tried the fourth riff until you're good at the first 3. Anyway, so there's that, and then similarly, come as you are. Yeah, I'm gonna on your page grab a pen here and do some 1, 2, 3, 4, suggesting what order to work on this stuff in. So we'll go 1 on Earth, just roll the punches here. 2, like 3, 4. And I'm suggesting like the one that makes the most sense for like order of operations building your skill set. But if it's more fun to do introduction to whatever, you can start with that. It's all good. They're all like comparable level of difficulty. The sun out of the picture. Cool. Awesome. So going on to what I put as number 2, which is Come As You Are. Here Was You until now, and we were talking about using these two fingers and how we want your thumb straight like this, whether it's in this position or this position, just not that, not this. The whole point is to get out in front of the instrument so that you can come straight in at the strings, and that's the same stuff that seems difficult to everyone at first. So, part 1, and like we were talking about, it's not which came really naturally to you, and that's good because a lot of people, their like brain falls out their ear the first time they try to do that. So when you end here, you want to be in good position because the next riff you just sit in place. So there's our first half, and I want you getting real good at that before you move on. So that's down, 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 up, down, up, down. And seriously, so like one good one, one good one, stop. The worst possible thing is to turn that into like a little mini song that loops there. As soon as you feel like you've got it, you can just go on to the next part. And it's tempting to start at the beginning, but now I'd like you to start at where we just left off and be going just a few times until your brain says, okay, I can do that. And that finger just chills there, pushing down so it keeps ringing out. We put that whole thing together. We got most often trips people out about this song is that between the first half and the second half, there's 2 of the same note. Like it goes 2 of those right there. So that's totally what's happening. Anyway, so there's Come As You Are. And moving on, we've got the song that you brought in. But first I'm just going to do About a Girl. We've got this chord E minor that looks like this, and then G, which you already knew. I drew a little asterisk up on the first string. We cut your nails. We don't want to be doing that. It's not the biggest deal ever, but might as well go ahead and do it the right way. So let's talk about right hand. I'm using this range of motion, not this. That'll sound really like, rather than like. So that's what's up. You know, it's a percussion instrument, and in order to hit all the strings with the same amount of velocity, we have to have like a wind up. Otherwise, it would go hit these strings really hard to hit those like. And so here we are. We're going. And then we're going down. And like I was saying during the lesson, tends to be we strum down on the downbeat and up on the upbeat. So here we're going 1, 2, and 3, and 4, and so it's going to be down, down, up, down, up, down, up. If you can totally hear this stuff, there's certainly no extra points for counting. In fact, if you can hear it, you don't need to count. Just kind of point that out since you've got the theater background. You've probably been thinking about stuff like that with if you do any musicals. Cool, so there we are. So in this song, our first finger stays in the same place for both chords, but we got this concept of the open strum, which is you know, on this up strum, your hand's going to be on the way to the next chord. So before you try to do the whole thing, I want you to be good at going. And before you do that, just spend some time doing this until your brain's like, okay, I agree, I can probably do that quickly. And then don't do the whole thing, just go. And like, you know, however, 5 times until that gets kind of easy. And then try doing the whole thing once. That was down, up, down, up. And then it repeats. So the same thing happens here where I'm like, those have left on the way to there. If we were doing 2 regular chords that didn't have a common note, we'd fully be like, with the open strum thing. Cool, so you have 2 split seconds. Worst possible way to do this, play the whole thing, hope you get better at it. Best possible way, do it in the little sections we just did. But if you find you're just like playing it, no big deal, that's fine too. Just means you're on like the high end of the learning curve. Awesome, so at about 7:10, which I'll make a note of at this point, is when we started the probably most fun song you've got, which is all middle finger, and this was our how the rhythm went, but you totally don't. We've got this, and then we go, and then we got a slide, and that'll be your first slide. You want to make sure your thumb moves to something you're doing at your shoulder and your elbow. And that's like our open strum in rhythm guitar. The very last thing being open lets us get back to where we started. So during that strum, you want to be on your way back to that. And it's just all down. Cool. So there's some times in that song where he's hitting 3 strings, but I think it's good practice going between just 1 and 2 strings exactly. Come as you are with like all 1 string, same with nothing else matters, and that's totally how the song was. However the rhythm was. Awesome. So there is first lesson stuff. And you know, if you finish all that, super psyched. Just learn any other common chords, grab a chord book or like online chord list, and learn a few others if you need extra stuff to do.